Hello.
There you go. We'll just do...
Oh.
Ignoring the fact that you're British,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll recover soon. We've got question 2. Will we be seeing more One Saber maps from you?
Yeah, it's like the only thing I know map.
Oh, okay.
It's not good. I went back to mapping like standard, and then forgot because the past like 4 months I've been just working on Spin Eternally that I've just forgot how to map standard now. So the only thing I know map is One Saber.
Oh, flipping hell.
So and rotation.
Oh yeah, and rotation as well, of course.
So sadly, yeah.
Do you have any songs in mind of what you're going to be mapping for One Saber?
I have a really unpopular opinion. All of Beat Games' One Saber maps suck.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They're so clearly someone who has only mapped standard gone, well, it's my job now.
Yeah.
Because they clearly took all of the expert plus or expert diffs and just went bye left hand and just did the right hand.
Just did the right
so,
hand,
yeah. Firestarter, the main pattern, which is like
Oh,
one
the cool
of the best
one.
patterns
Yeah.
in the entire game.
Is it just the one side?
It's just one
Wow.
side. It's awful.
Wow, that's horrible.
I really want to map all of the OST songs which should have fun One Saber maps. So that's my hope.
Honestly, I'd look forward to seeing like a not Spin Eternally, what's it? Firestarter? Yeah,
Yeah.
Firestarter one would be really, really cool actually. Now I'm actually onto the Twitter thread, so this is where it's gonna get bad or good. Question from Xhira: where does one start with modding games? Is it a steep learning curve, or is it feasible to do it in a fairly new developer?
I think it depends where you're coming from. So if you're coming from like only web dev, it's gonna take a little bit more because you're gonna have to learn C#. If you're coming from like JavaScript, Python, you'll still have the skills required because you have a brain that's good for programming. But you need to learn Unity quite badly. If you don't have skills within how Unity works, you're not going to be able to put your mods to their full potential. Like specifically Beat Saber uses a library called Semject, which if you want your mods to be of like the most performant and like the best you can do it,
Most optimized in a way.
you really need to learn it.
Ah, gotcha.
And you really need to learn how Unity handles things. So it's doable. Like I started modding because Scad and Red Bumper basically went to me and was like, just learn.
No, really?
It was a funny thing of I was making so back on Quest about 4 years ago.
God, you're old. You're aging well.
I was 16
Oh,
when
God.
we started.
You're aging. Trust me too. We've both gone through the same boat of this. It's horrible.
Back on Quest, the only mod you could really make was swap assets.
Got ya.
So you could access every single asset that exists, and you could a 3D model, you can just replace it. A texture, you can just replace it. That's why back on Quest years ago you'd have custom sabers that looked kind of off, a load of different signs because they were just the texture swap.
Oh,
So
really?
each
Okay.
layer. And I used to make a shit ton of those, and then Red and Stats like came to me and were like, so when are you learning modding? I'm like, fine. And it only took me about 2 months to learn
Really?
C++ enough and Unity enough to start making basic mods.
Wow.
So if you put your mind to it, it won't take you long. It's just you need to learn how things work.
Got ya.
What? How things are put together, because you need to decompile the game and so what the game is doing. There's a lot of things to learn, but if you're dedicated enough, it won't take that long.
Oh, good. Well, guess I should probably start then. If it only takes you 2 months, I mean, I should probably give it a go. It might take me 12, but you know, I'll eventually get there. Another question. This one's from kittens.exe. Why and when did you decide to develop mods for Beat Saber in the first place?
So this was August 2019. I got my Quest 1 in July for my birthday, and I was playing as everyone else at the first level in classes with Elijah.
Oh god.
I was so intrigued in how I could make the game mine, because back on Quest, like I said before, you could replace anything. You had the full ability to change any asset and do more or less anything. So that's what started that, and then I'm not 100% sure when I started developing like coding mods, but like I said before, that was when Red and Scat is like, come on, now.
Yeah, now's your time.
Yeah. Which was, I think late 2019.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
bit
4
too
years
long
ago.
ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too long. Nearly a whole generation afterwards. Now we've got a few questions from Mistrick, which will be quite interesting.
okay.
So, first question. What was the first mod idea you had when you wanted to start modding?
Oh, this is so the first thing that if we're talking about like coded mods, like developed mods. So,
Let's get probably a bit closer.
okay.
Yeah.
So, back in 2019, so Score Saber released. I'm starting with the Score Saber because this is kind of what started. If it wasn't for Score Saber back in 2019, releasing for 1.1 and then 1.2 and then dying,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have modded.
Wow.
Because
Oh, hey, how's it going?
the first thing that I wanted to make was a leaderboard mod, and I didn't know how to mod. So I don't know if anyone remembers, I then made the Discord server and a Discord bot, which led to Quest board.
Yeah.
And then the first thing that I wanted to make was a leaderboard mod for Quest board.
Got it.
And it was in the nicest way possible, out of spite, for the fact that Score Saber hadn't updated and there was nothing about where it was coming. Until then, I made Quest board and then got a very, very fun message going, oh, Score Saber's now updating.
Oh no.
Was that the only part of the question? Was there?
There are others. Okay. Ooh. This one's a bit of a questionable one. How come songs load faster on game launch on Quest rather than PC with thousands of songs?
So, Songcore is 5 years old. Songcore is one of the oldest mods that this community has, and it has not. And it has not been. Here.
Yeah, Sai.
The dog is here. Here. Hello.
Hi, Sai.
Hello. Songcore's not been.
You're gonna get him for a while.
Yeah. You know, that... Oh, you're gonna smell my dogs.
Oh God, you're gonna be
Hello.
all over it then. Give him a bit.
Hello. Hello.
He's not gonna stop.
Do you want to say anything? Do you want to answer this question?
He honestly might. So, hang on, I got a question for him. Sai, I got a question, mate. I know. Is it all exciting? Are the people here? I know. He's just looking at his tail's going mental. Flipping hell. He's got all the sneezes. Flipping hell.
Hello.
I can smell everything. There's new smells and stuff. It's all cool and adventurous.
Yes, hello.
Don't be too gobby, Sai. What else you gotta say? Sai. What you gotta say? Okay. No more microphone for us then, my bad. Okay, so anyway.
Okay.
He will settle that at some point.
So, Songport is one of the oldest mods, and it's only really been updated. I think there was like a mild rewrite like 4 years ago, but it's only really been updated since its existence. But the song mode on Quest is quite new. So already, off the bat, you've got performance gains of, we know how things work. We don't need to be updating the very old shit. But another reason is that C++ compiled is a lot faster.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's why Nucleus sections run so much better on Quest 2 than it ever
wow.
will on PC.
Damn, I did not know that.
So you've got a bunch of performance gains from the fact that you're not running off a hard drive and SSD, you're running off of the storage of the Quest.
Yeah.
So you've already got faster reading times. You've got it's written in C++, which means you've got faster, like all the code's going to run faster. At runtime, everything will run quicker. And you've got the fact that it's brand new.
Oh, that's
Well,
also good.
not brand new, but like it's so much newer, and it was written after we know much more about it. Like quite recently with the 1.30 update, Songcore's loading times has exponentially gone up.
Really? I didn't even notice that.
No one has to update it.
Oh, hey, that makes sense.
So when we update to 130, was an update yesterday.
131.1, yeah, I think. So, what are you doing?
Your loading times should improve.
Dog.
I mean, I send you one sometimes.
You do send me all
And then you respond going, you know what? I'm not using this.
Only sometimes, not all the time. Hey, yo. Hello, I know. Are you new people? Are there people? Are you on the TV? Oh my god, so you're on the TV?
Look, Bob, I'm on TV.
I did it. I'm on the screen.
What a good say.
There's definitely a lot of doing that.
I want to play with it now. That looks like a fun toy.
Now, this question's going to be very interesting.
Okay.
Is the thing in your profile picture a glizzy or a donut? What is the law in your profile picture?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, it's fine, shut up.
So, I feel I really need a new profile picture because my profile picture is as old as me being in the community. So, when I first doing stuff, I changed to this profile picture. All it is a photo of Spinel, which is a character from Steven Universe, combined with Sonic the Hedgehog. So it is a glizzy.
Ah.
It's a hot dog.
Right.
So if you look at the background, you can see rings from Sonic. And I only use this profile picture because I've used it now for 5 years, and it also looks a lot like the cat from Scratch. If you were a kid and you liked programming, probably use Scratch. And if you look at my profile picture, it looks a shockingly large amount like the default Scratch cat. And that's another reason why I really like it, but it is just a stolen piece of artwork.
Wow.
I don't know who the maker of this artwork is.
Scratch is base, it's true.
Scratch is
yeah.
very base. I would, Jesse, if you're watching this, I would quite like a new profile picture. It's a glizzy. It's a hot dog.
It's just a glizzy. Gotcha.
Yeah.
The law has been unspoken now.
The
We all
law
know
has
the truth.
Been revealed.
Oh, this one's a good one. Now, that one's a good one. And why would you want to talk to this scary British man? That's what Funny Man has said.
Because you live the closest to me.
That's a fair point. That's fair. I can't argue that.
Because it only took me 2 hours to get here.
Well, I see how it is. Use me for the clout. I see how it is. That's fine.
It's only for the clout.
Yeah.
We've known We've known each other since the beginning, really.
Yeah, really. It's been a while.
So.
September 2019,
Yeah.
October around then. It's been a while.
Very early on. 'Cause
Yeah.
Didn't you have a Quest 1?
I did have a Quest 1, I then sold it, and then I got, actually, probably I did sell my Quest 1, I then got it for what did I get? I think I got rid of it to save up for the Index. I then got the Index, then got the Pimax Crystal, sold the Pimax, the Pimax AKX, sorry, I won that from a competition, sold that, bought the Quest 2, and now I'm just using the Quest 2 in the Rift S now. So, I do have my Index and my CV1 still in the other room.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm probably never going to use them again.
That's fair.
Index maybe, because obviously I'll need that for mixed reality, but the Quest 2 does everything and better as far as I'm concerned so far. Ooh. So, with the controllable mod, Doom Guy asks, how long did it take you to make the mod, and are you still developing on it, and what features do you intend to add?
This might take a little bit of time. So, how long did it take to make? From concept to first build, I think it only really took me about a week.
Oh, wow.
And the second I made it, I then sent it to this arsehole. Like, almost immediately. Because something that was quite cool with the way that Unity games work and the way that VR and XR is handled within Unity is that controllers act like VR controllers.
Oh, okay.
So your left joystick and right joystick on a gamepad is considered the left hand and the right hand
So
on a
you
VR
don't
controller.
need to change anything?
I did.
Flip
All I
it
had
out.
to do was figure out how to tap into the control input, and that was it. So that's not how I do it anymore, but the first version controllable literally just worked off of the fact that VR controllers and gamepads essentially work in the exact same way.
That is incredible. I didn't even know that. Wow.
So, and then if you look back on Den's channel, there's a video of I played this map with an Xbox controller, and you can see how awful it looks. It wasn't great because all I did was map up, down, left, right, and you moved a little bit, and that was basically it.
Got ya.
And then it took me about a month to go from that to a version which auto-positioned to the next node. Because the issue with a controller, it's the same as you'd have with a Joy-Con. I am essentially only getting rotational data. I don't get anything for a position. So it's technically 3 degrees of freedom.
Gotcha.
So I then need to somehow get the 6th degree of freedom. So I have to do that myself through estimating where the note is and how to move the controller to the note. Which it took me about a month, 2 months to get to that stage, which was probably when everyone was like, you should just release it now. Which I then didn't. So I then looked at all of this work that was still using the old, the way that Unity handles input. I was like, wouldn't it be really funny if I then used a proper controller mod? That'd be quite funny and nifty. This mod doesn't need to release yet, does it? It's been about a year.
That's been quite a while.
It's been a little. It's a bit. Yeah. So I rewrote the entire mod to use the actual library that game developers use to handle gamepad support, specifically X-Import, which is export. So Controllable currently runs off of I think it's Xpure if anyone cares, which no one really does.
Yeah, I mean, if people know, it'd be better. So.
And it runs off this library, which means I have access to Rumble, every single button. I can do, if there are multiple controllers, I can fully support controllers. Which then I looked at it once more and went, you know what? It's now been 7 months. I've done, the version that's on the deck is this version.
Yeah.
And it's like, and what if anyone's on my Patreon? This is the version you'll get, which is still using all these things. I'm like, this isn't good enough because I'm currently waiting for a back-end score saver change, and I didn't really want to release the mod because the mod fully supports BB in its entirety, and it half supports score saver because there's one very small bug in score saver.
Ah, got you.
And I didn't want to submit a bunch of scores to score saver, which then they would have to remove. It would have been empty scores.
Gotcha.
Wouldn't have been fair on score saver. So I was quite close to just disabling score saver outright. But in that meantime, I had a bit of 4 months to go. It was quite fun. I rewrote it again. So I'm currently in the process of rewriting the entire mod again.
Good.
Which then means I have the ability to add what I call modules.
Got you.
So currently I'm developing the gamepad module, which is just a normal controller, but then I can work on a Tilt 5 module.
Ooh,
I can then work on a Connect module. I can then work on Wiimote modules.
Oh,
I can
come off
work
it. That'd
on-
be so cool.
I can work on a multiplayer module, like split screen multiplayer. I could, in theory, now do anything.
Okay, the split screen multiplayer, you've sold me on that. If I can split screen and play Beat over somebody,
Yeah.
honest, like if
One
they have
VR,
this,
one controller.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
that would be insane. You should port it to the Wii. You should actually just like get a Wii, just get a disc.
Someone currently was. Someone was
Really?
in the middle of porting it to the Wii and then gave up. This was years ago.
Oh well, then it needs to try again.
But yeah.
We'll find them. We'll find them as possible.
So, in the future, there will be a lot of support for a lot of things. In the meantime, while I'm still, because a lot of these delays come from doing stuff like this. I can't really pull out my laptop and start coding in the middle of a. I'd have to do it on my deck.
Oh
I've
yeah,
got my
that
deck.
probably wouldn't be very ergonomic.
So I'm a one-person developer. I'm not God. So I'm doing stuff in my own time, which is why things go really slowly. But what's to come is quite a lot. I hope that if, say, Beaten comes free to play at some point, I know, funny.
That was a good one.
But if it could, in theory, get more people into the game, because another thing which I could work on is 2 mics. Left hand mics, right hand mics.
That would be cool.
Keyboard and mouse support, 2 key support. So it
Does
also
Windows actually support 2 mics at the
No.
same time? I was about to say.
No, it doesn't.
I didn't think
No.
it did that.
You've got to implement your own mouse driver.
Oh.
It's not fun.
No, that does not sound enjoyable. You
No.
probably have to put the mouse driver in the mod just so it'd be easy to install.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah,
That's just
flipping
how
hell.
it works. So yeah,
Wow.
there's stuff to come, but yeah.
I look forward to a lot of that, especially the scripts being support. That's going to be really, really fun. Honestly, if I get to if I bring you round and I can have you sitting on the desk and we can play together. Sierra asks, when are we playing Bed Wars again?
Hello, tomorrow?
Okay, that was a quick question. So, when learning about coding or when learning... Well, actually, this question is from Brettskite. I should probably actually... So, Brettskite says, when learning about coding or just generally learning about anything, what was the biggest moment you figured out how to do something when you've always liked but never knew how it actually did work?
I don't really know. I think my biggest might have been during controllable when I realised, oh, I can just tap into the way the game already handles control input. But I would still consider myself like a junior developer. I've only really been coding for about 6 years, which I know is a long time.
It's still like, what, nearly 1/3 of your life, so
Yeah,
I'll just put that in perspective.
oh, thank you,
You're
thank
more
you.
than welcome.
But in, like, developer, the span of people's lives, that's not a lot. So, I'm not very good at programming compared to a lot of the other people in the community, a lot of people who do it for their jobs. So I am constantly having those moments. Like when I'm working on a mod called Adaptable Note, which might eventually end up being a replacement for custom notes. And literally all I did was I took, the low mirror in the game.
Yeah.
The way that works is it literally just goes, when a note spawns, spawn another one, and then make it follow.
Oh, wow.
It literally does. So what I did was I copied and pasted it. I copied the entire thing and pasted it. It just worked.
It just worked.
It just worked.
Wow.
And that was a pretty...
That was a pretty moment. Bloody hell.
But in general, I'm constantly having those moments. There's not a day when I'm working that isn't oh, that's quite cool, that just works.
Oh, wow.
So, that's just a part of the job, I think. You just have those moments constantly. Wow. So, yeah.
I should have stole that, my bad. Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really interesting, actually. Yeah, it's really interesting. My favorite part about it, coming to learn that actually it's just like taking something, copying it, and being able to make adaptive notes with that. That's honestly really interesting. Like I thought that one would have took like, obviously it takes a lot more development than just that, but the fact that like the basics of it have just started off like that, that's really, really cool.
It took maybe 2 days to get the to get the part that was just spawn a second note. Because the way the entire mod works is it will get another note and just put it in its place and then hide the original, which means then I can bypass everything. I don't have to deal with any. If I wanted to change the visual JD, if I wanted to change anything about this note, I can, which is why I did it this way. Because I know a lot of other mods that do very similar things just completely go fuck it and change the original note, which I'm not a big fan of, because No Sway, which Lolot made, technically, under a very, very mild technicality, changes scoring. Under an extreme mild, if you were to move the player really close, like to where notes are spawned, in theory you are changing scoring because the notes aren't in rotation.
So with that and NJS?
In theory, yeah.
So in theory, with that and NJS cheesing, would that technically change the scoring, and what kind of change would that make?
So... Oh, it's 100%. It would not be accepted, but in theory, because the jump animation is disabled, so the notes wouldn't be flipped; they'd be the right way up.
Oh,
so it would, in theory, be like incorrect, which is why I really don't like that approach. If the mod doesn't get support for the next update and breaks, but it breaks in a weird way, cool, everyone just now has a mod that cheats.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't like it. If Adaptable Notes breaks, the game just won't load. Just due to the way it works.
Got you.
So there cannot be any cheating involved.
So is it like a fail safe? Is it like almost like a fail safe in a way, or is that something you've intentionally implemented?
Yeah, it's a fail. So it's all built on, like I said before, Zenject, which what that does, it essentially goes, I want this thing. I want, like when you load into a level, I want Bob. Is Bob anywhere? I have Bob, that's Zenject.
Gotcha.
If Bob doesn't exist anymore, so when you're in Beat Saber and a map just doesn't load and you're in a black screen for eternity, that's a Zenject error.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So that's why we always ask for the log, because essentially an update that then means that something which would have put Bob into Zenject didn't anymore. So then when you're asking for Bob, it goes, where's Bob?
Where's Bob? Gone.
And it just shits itself. So it's not an intentional failsafe, but in theory, it's an accidental failsafe, yeah. It would just not load.
If there's a way to prevent cheating, I've never seen it way better than that so far. So take notes on, Brad, just saying. So, this question is from Shady on YouTube, aka Shady is Cool. How easy is it to generally develop a mod of any scale, and how long would it usually take to make any mod of any scale?
There's an issue with this question.
There is.
Just one small issue. I think it depends a bit on the scale.
Yes.
So, the bookmark mod that I commissioned, that took me 2 days.
Really?
Because all I had to do was figure out how bookmarks worked, which, fuck you, Bullet. for changing how bookmarks worked. I'm having words. I've already actually had words. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I hope Bullet sees that one day.
Oh, I will. Someone clip this and send it to Bullet. Fuck you. Because bookmarks now get applied. It was so easy because bookmarks didn't get applied the BPM changes.
Oh, okay.
So it was just the regular BPM, which is easy to deal with.
Yeah.
And now it gets applied with the BPM changes, which means that's now going to take a couple more days to figure out. But oh well.
Love it. Love it.
But that mod only took a couple days, mainly because I had a moment. I've had probably like 2 or 3 moments in this community over the past 4 years where I have done very large things and then gone, fuck this shit, I'm leaving.
Got it.
Like, I'm not the sort of person to then announce on Twitter because I always come back. Hello. I hate that I am autistic. So I get burnt out quite easily. So you see it with control, you see it with tactical notes. I take my time when developing things because 1, I don't want to burn out, and 2, everything that I work on, I hate that I want it to be perfect. Like, I was working on the Spinatali map for 7 months because I just wanted the map to be perfect when I released it. So it depends on how skilled of a developer you are, depends on the scale of the mod. Like, the bookmarks mod was quite tiny in comparison for anything, so that only took a couple days. If you were to make, I don't know, tournament assistant, that'd obviously then take weeks to months, maybe even years, because the scale to make something like that is insane. So, I know it's not the answer you wanted, but it depends.
It depends. Gotcha. Well, at least I suppose we know now, I suppose. I'll be 1 second. My sister is calling me like several times. Is she still? Hang on. My sister said, and I quote, "I could be dying right now and you're not answering. What if I'm dead?" So I responded with, "Are you dead?" If I get a response of, "No, I think we're okay." Yes, answer the phone. Oh, for God's sake. Hold on. Okay.
It exists.
About BSMG.
Oh.
How did it?
It did.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh. This one's actually a good question.
Okay.
In your opinion so far, if you have been paying attention, Please asks, what is the best mod map of 2023:3?
The best mod shot? Fuck.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I sadly don't really play the game anymore. It's the mild issue is that every time I go, I really want to play Beat Saber because I like this game a bit too much. It's not a good thing. So I go, oh, it's time to play. Oh, this mod could do with an update, and then I don't play and I mod for about 4 hours. I've still not played somewhere out there.
All right. Where has my Quest 2 gone? Why is it there now? I was about to pick up the Quest 2 and go, play. I couldn't even do that because you'd nicked it. Bloody hell. But yeah, if you're going to play somewhere like that, I will force you to play it.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, how long have we got? An hour and a half. We'll have to see how long this interview goes on for. But if we can, we'll play somewhere out there. There you go. So, let's have a look at other questions.
I think there was one map which I was made to play for Cube Community's New Map Monday, High Sierra. Oh wait, no, wrong. That's the camera, not that camera.
No, that's the camera, not that one.
Yeah, I've been actually doing that for a long bit.
That'll go well.
Which I think was one of Police's maps. Whichever one is mostly white. I'd have to say that is my favourite, because I don't play any of them.
Mostly white, so we now know Pink is a racist. This was a very good stream so far. What can you say? So, let's have a quick look. Oh, Chemical asks, of all colours, why pink?
Funny.
That's a fair answer, honestly. I can't disagree with that. Actually, wow, okay, there was a lot less questions than I thought there was. That's probably a good thing. Let's have a look. It's been on for 40 minutes. Oh, this looks like pretty decently. On Beans Are Yummy on YouTube. How does Beat Saber recognize a .saber file format while other programs like Blender do not recognize a .saber format?
So, a .saber file is what's known as an asset bundle. So, the way Unity games work is it's how you can give a Unity game content without pushing an update. So, all of the DLC are asset bundles, and it's just a way of getting compiled assets and giving it to a Unity game so that that game can then read it and do something with it. So, the contents of a .saber is the mesh is in there, but it's compiled. Well, it's not. It's built in a way for Unity to read. I don't know the full understanding on how Unity deals with models. Do talk to Monty or someone. I don't fucking know. But a .saber file, you can only extract a mesh out of it, and all the shaders and everything within it will have been compiled. So you're not able to take anything from it. You can, Bobby, back when the original Custom Sabers came out, made a .saber decompiler and then a .qsaber compiler, a converter. Don't ask them for this because that couldn't really exist anymore. Now with audio link and shit, that shit just couldn't really happen anymore. And it didn't really work for a lot of sabers. But a .saber is, at its core, it's just an asset bundle. Levels aren't. Levels are just .zips. QMods are just .zips. Notes, walls, platforms are asset bundles. It's just a thing that Unity can then read and then do something with.
Oh yeah.
So it isn't a model is why.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Actually, I never even knew that. So I guess we're learning more today. Apparently, we're more than I've ever knew. Now, I have my own question.
Oh god.
So, cosmetics. We're going to speak about that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Ignoring the chip incident.
The chip.
The chip.
Chip.
I forgot the question. Give me a second. Entertain while I remember. Hold on, I'll find it. In terms of cosmetics, what are the most annoying DMs you've received?
Oh god. Because it's not just cosmetics. Because I'm at the top of the member list in BSMD as well, and the top of the member list in my own server, I will get constant DMs about when is Xmod releasing, when is Controllable releasing, back when cosmetics wasn't updated to the latest update, when is cosmetics releasing. Those to me, I know they're just regular people, and I will try my hardest to respond to all these people because they don't know any better. They're usually either kids or just have no fucking clue. So those to me are the most annoying. But I've also had so many messages that are people that just, I don't want to seem rude, but if you try and start a conversation of just the randomest shit to someone you don't know, they're not likely to respond back.
Yeah.
You have to, probably do something with them or interact with them first before they talk to you privately. It's so annoying. I literally on the way here accepted and responded to a message request because they're almost weekly to twice a week at this point. At its peak, I probably got a randomest DM once a day. But now Beat Saber is slightly dying. I get it a lot less now. Oh god.
How, if you could, how would you revive the current state of Beat Saber? Beat Saber. And what would you do to further progress it in the future and keep it sustainable?
So, my take currently is there's multiple reasons why Beat Saber is dying. It's not dying. NS showed an image that the only game that isn't really dying is Gorilla Tag, which is quite.
That's bizarre. Did not expect.
Half-Life Alyx, Pistol Whip, every game is going down. So it's not just a Beat Saber thing. If I outlive and outlast everyone, I will just become the best player because no one else is here anymore.
See, the problem with that is that in Beat Saber years, we're boomers now.
Yeah.
We've both hit 20. That's it, we're over. You gotta remember, everyone in top 10 is either 10. More would happen with Score Saber at the moment, but Umbra in general at the moment, his life is insanely busy. I can't say much, but stuff has been going on in the back end, which means that not. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's mainly good news anyway.
No, it's fine.
Saving Beat Saber.
So, there's multiple reasons why things are going downhill. Now COVID is over, people are out more. Well, it's not over, but you know what I mean. Now people are outside. Not everyone's now staying in and playing VR for 6 hours a day. So where do people go? Because the excuse back then was that like you can't have a headset. So one of my reasons that Beat Saber is kind of going downhill is because the arcade rights for Beat Saber don't exist.
Really?
You cannot run a VR arcade with Beat Saber in it. It is against the terms of service.
Oh.
So, of course, you're not going to get any advertising for your game if you don't let people try your fucking game. Who knew? Like, if there were places for people to play Beat Saber, people would be more likely to buy a headset and play Beat Saber. There's no excuse anymore that, like, you can't go to the arcade because of COVID. People are going out now. There's no advertising for the game anymore. So that's part one. Beat Games needs to do something. I know it's not their fault, it's probably more meta than anything. That's part one. Part two...
This is a good question. I really like the question.
That was a really, really good question. Part two is that all the modders, everyone's slowly leaving. And it's no fault of anyone's, and everyone is just slowly falling out of the game. Which means everyone's seen at the moment with how beat mods and anything that's doing anything with modding. I think if we're talking more about the game is dying, I think it's more that the PC player base, which is the only real side that the PC and some of the core Quest player base, they're only the real side that stick around. That's why it feels like it's dying. Yeah, everyone's there, but if they're not going to reach out, talk to anyone, they're not really a part of the community, are they?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hello.
Where's my high?
You don't deserve one. So,
Do you question? I'm sad now. What?
leave.
Fuck you, prick. Fuck you.
Blomp.
Hi Ryan. Hi. Hi Ryan. Hi. Oh my God. Hi. Hi. Okay, I've done my bit now.
Okay. It's Jova.
Yeah, it's Jeva.
So, everyone's leaving.
Yeah.
And the way that it has been working for the past 4 years is that modders also review. Everyone who is trusted within the community, who mods, who gets into a position to have the modder role, and all of that sort of stuff, then ends up becoming reviewers by their own accord. So if a modder then wants to become a reviewer, they can then just become a reviewer. Everyone who was reviewing has gone, except for about 2 or 3 people. And it's quite evident that 2 or 3 people is not enough. And there's an issue currently that everything is quite locked down in everywhere. You join the community, you leave, and you create your own or join your own sub-community. And that is a problem we currently have. There's now other sub-communities which are slowly dying. Which is why it feels to everyone that the game is dying more than it currently is.
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
Like, if your sub-community is slowly phasing out because you and your friends are getting older and not playing the game anymore, of course it feels like your side of the community is dying. That's just how it is. And that's now the same with the BSMG. We're all still in there, but a lot of the modders are now slowly leaving. Which means there's now no one around to review anything. Which is why 130 took so long. Because the mods were updated, it's just that no one was around to review them.
Everybody is just, yeah, everyone is slowly leaving, and everybody with some kind of hierarchy or some kind of role is also going as well, so it's making doing that kind of stuff a lot harder. Exactly, you get it.
Pixel's apparently coming back now.
Is Pixel coming back?
Pixel, you're based.
Welcome back, Pixel.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
So, one thing that I'd quite like to do is open up the BSMG a lot more. Have a more hub. Yeah, 100%. Everyone is so that's why I think everyone feels like it's dying, because if your sub-community is leaving, your then world within Beat Saber is leaving.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, one of my...
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's something that I'd quite like to work on soon.
Oh, it was Pixel, not me. But it's also me as well, my bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. I'd quite like to open the BSMG up more. That's going to be one of my big aims over the next year. Because having a hub which people can go to would be, like, people please split off into your own sub-communities, because that's how people stay. Like, you're more likely to stay in your own niche friend group. That's great. But if there's a hub for people to do certain things, like events, if we all grouped up more, even if it's not just the BSMG, if we created a whole new community, I don't care what it is, no one cares what it is, if people come together and do things together rather than splitting off into their own sub-community, or split off into their own sub-community and go, can more people come in? We need people. That's how things come back. That's how things come together again. But because we're all so separated, and it's so impossible to reach out to more people, like, the World Cup, in my opinion, could have had so many more viewers, but because there were so limited places to advertise, that, what's anyone to do?
Okay, so a lot with what was the point I was trying to think of making? Oh, it's completely gone out of my head. Well, that's the thing. If it made it any shorter, then it wouldn't be fun to watch. The point in it being, well, that's the thing. You can say it's way too long, but like games like OSU have World Cup tournaments that last longer and have more. A lot of what the problems with, I'd say, not generally come from BSMG, but since it's the biggest hub of where people can find people. I remember the one time we had the @everyone ping when everyone ratioed me. That was the most in the community. I think that was the most we've ever felt together, and I think we need more moments like that. So, Bria, if you're watching, ping everyone right now. Right now. Just ping everyone. But yeah, I think we need not just the events pings in like BSMG. We need more. We need more of like mapping competitions. We need more of player competitions. We need more tournaments, especially in BSMG. Need to become something that like gets close to Cube community.
The only thing is that I don't think anyone wants to separate. Like, if it could be a community X other community working together on a project, that's probably the best way to go about it, rather than a place like just CC, just BSMG, hosting these big things. Because if two communities go and work together on a project, you've now got double the people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not doubles, there are going to be loads of people.
But yeah, there are some people that are intertwined, but like at least a substantial amount.
Yeah, but it's so easy to go, I've got this idea, I'm doing it just for myself. Like, I would have loved to play in that DD tournament. It was a tournament entirely just about DDs. I'd have killed to do something in that, but I didn't even know it existed until the grand final.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was only a one-day thing. Yeah, definitely.
As well, especially with how refined the game. Well, it's not refined. The game itself is not refined in any way, shape or way. But the fact that we've got so many people trying to refine the game in their own like specialist way and trying to like get their own idea of perfection, it's clashing too many ideas at once. And I think if we all settled a little bit less and then everyone came together to make more rather than doing their own independent stuff, and we would have a much bigger and a much better game base than we would currently.
Yeah.
It worked! Thank you, Wookie! Thank you, Wookie!
It's... if people going off, splitting off into their own thing, and then thinking it's helping, rather than looking at the entire picture and seeing what the problems that we have, you're just creating another problem.
Well, yeah.
Oh god, they're coming through so quickly.
Too many messages.
I can't read from there. I'm just grab my phone. Yeah, it's all passion.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all a passion product. There's no kind of money or anything. Yeah, imagine if we had the game as an esport. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine what it'd be like, say, if we had an OSU kind of thing?
Matter what is the issue?
Yeah.
Like, for God's sake, do something with your... Like, we've seen, I think, is it in China or Korea?
China.
In China, the game has, like, actual proper... The community would love to do that. We legally can't.
Yeah.
We don't have the rights to do it. And I bet you if...
Yeah, literally.
If anyone went ahead and wanted to do something like that, we'd either be told to fuck off, or we'd be told to pay a pretty big fee. So, what's the point? It's...
The game that I've always dreamt of, and like when I think of Beat Saber, the one game that I've always wanted it to be is just like it was before Meta took over. Before Meta took over, I thought of the game having like an OSU kind of approach to how it does things. So like all of the songs are licensed with a big degree, like it's a donation-based system. Because I would give more money to the game, and I'm saying that I would give more money to the game if I could donate to it. If I could do a donation once per month, say if it was like $10 a month, and it gave me like special perks to play the game, and everyone else that didn't do it got it for free. So say, for example, it got community modders in, and for those $10 a month, you get Saber's base game, so you get different Saber's base game. You get the whole level up system. You get the battle pass, $10 a month. Think of it. There is like, and you also get like the licenses to games, and everyone gets that license because of those $10 a month that everyone will be paying towards the game. There is such a big opportunity that like they could be doing, and we could all grasp, and we could all have for this game, and there is nothing we can do about it. And that's the worst part about it. We are so limited by the fact that the company that we are trying to get so much attention from, that we cannot do anything about. It is horrendous. I just want it so badly. Yeah, it beats. Imagine it, right? You get XP at the end of a pass. Say if you get higher accuracy, you get an extra like 50 XP that puts you towards another level, and then like you have the maximum level of the battle pass. Say if you get different particles for when you crash into blocks, or the blocks become like, you get different blocks like cakes, all that kind of stuff, different environments. Like, there's so much untapped potential here.
Spin Rhythm has done this.
Really?
So I, for a very short period of time, modded Spin Rhythm.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everything that I made got put into the game. Like,
Take notes, Meta Man. Come on.
Honestly, if you want a game to quit Beat Saber for and you still want a rhythm game, go play Spin Rhythm, because it is an XP system with custom everything. You just level up, you can grind, custom levels, all community run. They do events for community, people map, and there's official events where people's custom maps get put into the official game.
Come off
There's so much that Meta could be doing, but they're not.
There's nothing.
So there's so many problems which we could play our part by trying to come together more, but that's not going to be the root cause to fix it. The root cause to fix it will, in my opinion, be if not anymore. I think any further conversation with this is just going to repeat ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we've made the point. The game is there's so much we can do with the game, but there's nothing we can do. However, chat, I have a question for you. Do you have a question for Pink?